Myers said he thinks that Coach Wilson and Coach Day are really feeding off each other right now in terms of the play calling. Can you guys feel that on the field? I know you don't have direct communication with them when they're calling the plays and stuff, but can you feel it? And then like, so like how? What does that feel like when you're out there?
I mean, yeah, absolutely. I think the biggest thing is once you start seeing us getting a rhythm. I think with Coach Day has a lot of responsibility with the passing game and what's going on, and Coach Wilson kind of has his hands in the offensive line as well to make sure that we're on the same page. So I think when you start seeing, as the question just left with JT with receivers being wide open, that's kind of where you start to see that rhythm and seeing that dynamic between those two, having that relationship, and you see a lot of positive things. So I'm excited for it because then you get to see an offense like what you did today.
And I noticed that it seemed like Mike was the guy who was signaling you to snap the ball.
Uh-huh.
Has he always been the guy when you're on the road to do that, or was that a switch because you had a new other guy in the other guards?
No, we have a couple of different things in our repertoire to make sure that if the crowd noise is too much, just to make sure that the offensive line is on the same page. That's one of the couple things that we do, and we trust Mike to be able to do that. So,
middle over there, Bill.
Billy, two questions. First of all, how do you think Demetrius Knox played? And secondly, since Oklahoma, everyone's been pointing to Penn State, you're finally at that point. How ready are you for Penn State?
So to address Demetrius, I think Demetrius came in, he stepped in, prepared very, very well all week. Really, really satisfied with what he did today. Obviously, we'll be able to see it once we watch the film more to see what we can improve on and what we can take that step for towards next week or our next opponent would be in Penn State. So just really happy for Demetrius. As far as Penn State right now, obviously we want to make sure we celebrate the win. I think that's probably the biggest thing is as an offense is continuing to gain momentum, continuing to build week in and week out. That's kind of make sure that we don't lose sight of what we just did. JT was pretty balanced. I think 250 and 250 or some change, excuse me. So really, really happy to see what we're doing right now. And then obviously with Penn State coming up, just extra preparation that needs to go into there. Make sure since we have an off week, being able to watch them play since we won't be practicing or we won't be playing. So I just looking forward to this one.
Okay, hey, before we go on, I want everybody to know I've got our wide receiver Terry McLaurin in the back right there. If anybody wants to break off and go talk with Terry, he's back there, and then we'll continue with Billy right here, front row Dan.
Billy, you mentioned the momentum that you guys have been gaining as an offense. How valuable is that momentum to have going into a bye week and then, of course, the game against Penn State?
Well, the best part about it is I think that we have got so much more that we can continue to do and continue to do better. As far as offensive line-wise, same thing. I mean, we're letting a couple guys just schematically making sure that we're identifying what the defense is presenting itself to be, and then making sure that we are addressing that, blocking for JT so he can sit back there and just dissect defenses and distribute the ball where it needs to be. So going in there, going into a bye week, I think you're going into a bye week on a high, and that's something again very, 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 very good feeling to be able to go into.
Far left over there, Austin.
Really, when you talk about the numbers that you mentioned and the momentum that you guys are building on offense, where do you see the biggest enhancement over the last 5 games, just from big picture?
So I think when we talked on Wednesday, we just really talk about making sure that guys aren't thinking so much and just go play, go play fast, put the ball down, snap the ball, and let's go. So I think the biggest thing is just as soon as you start thinking and making sure, hey, I have to have this guy or I have to have this guy or you're trying to dissect things, I think that's when players start to play slow, and that's what our focus is. Don't play slow, go get a couple yards, make sure come off on the sideline, tell us what they're presenting, and then just get it together. So make sure we're playing fast, thinking less, and just going and having fun.
How are you? It sounds difficult to me. You're saying you're thinking less, but it almost looks like the playbook has gotten larger over that time. Is that how do those ideas balance?
So I think the biggest thing for JT is obviously, make it one read, not 2 or 3 reads. Make it one read and say, okay, hey, if they do this, this is where the ball goes. And so I think, and that allows us as an offensive line to play really, really aggressive, just start mowing guys off the ball and just moving them, which is fun for us. Again, if you're starting to, as a tackle or a guard or center, whoever you are, if you're thinking and making sure they're identifying defenses and what that blitz is exactly to make sure you block it perfect, you're not coming off as aggressive as what you need to be. So football's playing offensive line is a game of aggression. Go out there, have some fun, get after somebody.
Over here to the right, Bill.
Billy, it was a struggle last year for you guys to get on a roll like this offensively, and then you had back-to-back 62-3, and then it just didn't carry over for whatever reason. Why do you guys feel like this role you're on now is different heading into, obviously, another big one coming in 2 weeks?
Interesting question. I think that I really truly think that the dynamics of the offensive staff have been the reason why guys are flying around so much. I think that they're able to identify and say, hey, okay, we're watching our offensive line play slow because we're worried about blocking things perfectly instead of just going out there and having fun and being aggressive. So I think the biggest thing is making sure that again we're aggressive, we're playing fast, and just the philosophies and the I guess the ideas and which our offensive coaching staff believes in is that I think that's probably the biggest difference.
Has that always been noticed? Like, when was that dynamic noticeable this year? Because it seemed like even the beginning of this year, obviously, the Oklahoma game, there was a bit of a struggle too.
Yeah, for me, I think the biggest thing was once you start seeing us get on a roll. I think we saw little spurts of it in spring ball, saw a lot of it during fall camp, and then being able to put it out there on Saturdays against teams. And to go back on Oklahoma, I think that was a perfect example where you see the offensive line's thinking too much. We're trying to identify, trying to run a perfect play, a perfect protection, instead of just going out there playing fast and being aggressive and getting off the ball. So I think that's probably the biggest difference.
A couple more for Billy here, and then I want to try to get some defensive players. Gentlemen in the middle here.
Billy, describe your level of confidence in JT through some of his struggles early in the year, and what it was that, his struggle, what it was that kept you guys feeling like he could get to the point that he is now?
I think the biggest thing for me is, obviously, like, over my 5 years, I've grown with him. I've played with him. I know what he can do. I was there in 14 when, we went on that spurt with him, and all the offensive passing records that he broke. My level of confidence didn't drop. I think the biggest thing was making sure the coaches knew, understand how to distribute that ball the best way as possible, and making sure JT knew, again, quick 1 or 2 reads and boom, let's get the ball out, let's go here with the ball. And just, again, I think the extra preparation that, I think all of us on the offensive side of the ball has been really taking to make sure that we're prepared. We prepare hard all week, and then you get to see that on Saturday.
And last question for Billy, back in the back row, Tim.
With your defense giving up 2 first downs in the first half,
Right.
how well is the defense playing to keep the offense in that rhythm and in that sync and keeping them off the board as well?
So I think, and what's really, really cool is you kind of defense and offense kind of builds off each other, off that momentum swings. So as the offense is playing real well, we're moving people off the ball. I think the defense has that confidence in us to be able to just pin their ears back and go play fast and go play hard. So I think that's the biggest thing, and making sure that it's confidence as a whole in a team compared to when you see games where people struggle. The defense might be playing really, really well, and the offense goes out there and they don't have that confidence. So on the sideline, you can definitely feel that mojo, you can feel that momentum and that confidence. So it's pretty magical what's going on right now.
Great, Billy. Thank you very much.